A dying man named Nizar called his 4 sons together, Mudar, Iyad, Rabia, and Anmar. He gave them each a symbol of their inheritance. To Mudar, he said, I leave this red tent. It was made of leather. To Rabia, I leave my black horse and this black wool tent. To Iyad, I leave this gray-haired servant. She was middle-aged. And to Anmar, I leave the reception room, the place where guests are welcomed. Then he added, if you can't agree on how to split the rest of my wealth, go consult the Serpent of Jurhum. He's a wise priest who lives in Najran. Then Nizar died. Almost immediately, the 4 brothers started fighting over the inheritance, so they decided to visit the serpent. On the road, Mudar noticed some chewed-up grass from a grazing animal. That camel was one-eyed, he said. And lame, said Rabia. And short-tailed, said Iyad. Definitely a stray, said Anmar. Soon after, they met a man searching for his lost camel. Have you seen it? He asked. Was it one-eyed? Said Mudar. Yes. Lame? Said Rabia. Yes. Short-tailed? Said Iyad. Yes. A stray? Said Anmar. Yes! The man cried. That's my camel! Take me to it! By God, the brothers said. We never actually saw it. You're lying! The man shouted. You described her perfectly. He refused to leave their side all the way to Najran. When they arrived, the man announced, These men stole my camel! They described her in detail! We never saw her, the brothers insisted. They took the case to the Serpent of Najran, who was known as a wise judge among the Arabs. All right, the serpent said. How could you describe a camel you never saw? Mudar explained. I saw that the grass was only eaten on one side of the path. That told me the camel was blind in one eye. Rabia said. One footprint was deep, the others were shallow. That told me she was lame. Iyad said. The dung was piled in one heap. If she had a long tail, it would have scattered the droppings, so I knew her tail was short. Anmar said, She ate in a lush green spot, then moved to a poorer area with rough weeds. That's not normal. She had no herder. She was a stray. The serpent turned to the accuser. These men did not steal your camel. Go search for it yourself. Then he asked the brothers who they were. When they told him, he welcomed them. They explained the real reason for their visit, the inheritance problem. The serpent smiled. Why do you even need me? You're clearly clever enough on your own. Still, he hosted them. He killed a goat for dinner and brought out wine. Then he hid nearby to listen to what they'd say when they thought no one was listening. Over dinner, Rabia said, This goat meat is delicious, but I'd enjoy it more if the goat hadn't been raised on a dog's milk. Mudar said, This wine is great, but I'd like it more if the vine hadn't grown on a grave. Iyad said, Our host is the most noble man I've ever met, but only if he actually came from the father he claims. Anmar said, The most useful words we've heard today are our own. The serpent overheard everything and thought, These men are unnaturally sharp. So he investigated. He asked his servant, Where did this wine come from? From a vine I planted on my father's grave. The servant said, Best wine ever. He asked the herdsman, What's wrong with that goat? The mother died. The herdsman said, No nursing goats were available, so I fed it a dog's milk. Then the serpent asked his own mother, Who is my real father? She confessed, I was married to a wealthy king who couldn't have children. I feared his wealth would be lost when he died childless. So I lied about who your father was. The serpent returned to the brothers and admitted they had been right about everything. Then they told him their father's dying wish. If you can't divide the inheritance, ask the serpent. The serpent said, Everything red in your father's wealth goes to Mudar. So Mudar took all the gold coins means dinars and red camels. From then on, he was called Mudar the Red. Everything black goes to Rabia. So Rabia took all the black horses. He became known as Rabija the Horse. Everything that looks like that gray-haired servant goes to Iyad. So Iyad inherited all the white and gray sheep. He became Iyad the Grey. Everything else, all the silver coins means dirhams and whatever remains goes to Anmar. He became Anmar the Remnant, and that was how four clever brothers solved their fight without a single argument. So the moral? Pay attention to small details. They tell you more than you think.